We are joined now by the latest battleground race, which is the Republican side, Judge Schimel, running for election to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. For people out there, Judge Schimel, who don't understand what the stakes are, all over the country, money is being spent on this race, but certainly everybody in Wisconsin needs to get out and vote because we know this is going to be close. We've got a monster audience in Wisconsin. We love all of you. We hung out with you at the RNC, have had a fabulous time. Judge Schimel, what do they need to know about this race and its importance?
Well, first off, it's great to be on with you. I am part of that major audience in Wisconsin every day. My lunch break between my morning trial calendar and afternoon trial calendar, I've got you guys tuned in every day. So it's great to be on
Well,
with
thank
you.
you for that.
Yeah. What's at stake today? What's at stake in this race? The liberals have taken over the Wisconsin Supreme Court, and they are using it as a way to take over the United States Congress right now. My opponent was on a national Zoom call with billionaire liberal donors from across the country offering up, if she gets on the court, she will turn 2 Republican congressional seats into Democrat congressional seats. And now the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, just earlier this week, confirmed the same thing. They're using this court to change the district maps for congressional seats, to gerrymander them into seats that are better for Democrats. You know, the really interesting thing is, as Hakeem Jeffries complained about these maps in Wisconsin, he said they were gerrymandered. The maps in Wisconsin for our congressional seats were drawn by Democrat Governor Tony Evers. These aren't Republican maps. But what they found out is that they moved the maps to make them harder for Republicans, and those Republicans still won because Democrat ideas, the liberal ideas, are not prevailing with Wisconsin voters. We're tired of this nonsense. Well, they got it handed back to them last November, so now they're going to work harder to make these seats even tougher by using the court to do it. That's why this got nationalized.
What would also have what would be the other implications for, obviously, the congressional issue is front and center right now. My understanding is Elon is going to be helping to campaign in this. I mean, this is truly getting national level attention right now because Wisconsin, such an important state, such a critical swing for both congressional control in the midterms. And then, as we know, in the next election cycle, Wisconsin is going to be a battleground again. In addition to the congressional gerrymandering concern, what are some of the other things that will come before this court? And if it were a left-leaning court, could be problems to take Wisconsin in the wrong direction, whether it's just in the day-to-day business of it or in the next presidential election cycle?
Well, this court's already been messing with voter integrity laws. They created a new way of looking at our Wisconsin statute that permits these ballot drop boxes that can be put out. The legislature did not authorize that. This court decided they want them because it opens up opportunities for fraud. It opens up all sorts of opportunities for ballot harvesting, which would be illegal in Wisconsin. But those are the things they want. They want to get rid of that. We have got major battles dealing with the relative powers between the legislative and executive branch in Wisconsin, similar to what's going on at the national level between President Trump battling out between what is his authority as the chief executive versus what some of these district courts are doing. We're seeing those same kind of battles happening in Wisconsin. They're going to go after our voter ID law. They're going to go after our, we call it Act 10. It's a law that you may remember back in 2011, all those huge protests at the Wisconsin Capitol. Those are over Act 10. Act 10 puts some limits on the negotiating powers of public employee unions. Has nothing to do with private sector unions, just public employee unions who are effectively negotiating with themselves. We're looking, estimates say that that's going to cost Wisconsin taxpayers, well, that law has saved them in over $30 billion. We're looking at that being turned right back to taxpayers if that comes down. These are the issues that are going to be in front of this court. My opponent was the lead lawyer going after Act 10 when she was in private practice. She was a lead lawyer going after our voter ID law. She called it draconian. These are all issues that are going to end up in this court, and she's out signaling, file these lawsuits, and you'll get a good turnout.
We're talking to Judge Brad Schimel. If Trump's voters turn out, you will win. Democrats very often are better at these special elections, at these non-traditional, let's call it that, voting times. What is your message to people out there who voted for Donald Trump and want Trump's agenda to be implemented? Because, as you said, if they rewrite these House districts, basically what Democrats are doing is they're thinking we'll take away the House from Republicans, and that will be the roadblock to Trump's agenda. Have I gotten that right? But I think that's important for you to kind of lay out for people who may not understand the larger stakes here.
Yeah, I think that's why President Trump has weighed in on this race. When we talked last Friday before he announced his endorsement, he asked me straight up, Brad, what do you think about activist judges? And I told him, Mr. President, the whole reason I'm running is to end the reign of activist judges on our Wisconsin Supreme Court. We have to restore our courts to objectivity, judges who will follow the law, not make the law from the bench. And that was when President Trump said, well, good then, Brad, you've got my full and complete endorsement. We have to prevent the movement that is restoring America from bypassing Wisconsin, because we've got partisan judges on our Supreme Court who are just doing everything they can to put up a roadblock to everything that conservatives try to do to make our state stronger and better and more prosperous and safer. My opponent is a horrible Madison leftist who has had a terrible record on criminal sentencing. She goes way back. She was chief legal counsel for former Democrat Governor Jim Doyle, who did a lot of damage to our state. She was leading the charge on all that as his attorney.
We're speaking to Brad Schimel, Judge Schimel, who is running for this critical Wisconsin State Supreme Court seat. And this election is coming up in just a matter of days. It is very tight right now, and it's very important for not just the future of Wisconsin as a state, but the future of the United States Congress and the control thereof for the Trump agenda. So, as goeth Wisconsin, perhaps so goeth the Congress. It is very important for all of us to understand what these stakes are. And to that end, Judge Schimel, I'm wondering, what kind of money are the Democrats throwing into this, and what are some of the? We know that this is one of these situations where they're going to pretend, oh, it's just all about Wisconsin from the Democrat side, but they're getting New York money, Hollywood money, all over the country. They're piling in, I'm sure. So, what are the numbers like, and what are you seeing?
How about this number? 4 out of 5 donors to my opponent don't live in Wisconsin.
There we go.
That is shocking, right? But another number that's great for me, I've got over 75% of the sitting sheriffs in Wisconsin are publicly endorsing me, meaning Democrat and Republican sheriffs, because they know my work as Attorney General and as a former district attorney in one of our biggest counties in the state. I've got every single law enforcement organization in Wisconsin is publicly endorsing my campaign. That means the organizations representing over 16,000 frontline law enforcement officers are publicly backing me. She's got out-of-state people trying to buy this Supreme Court. I've got the people who take care of public safety in our state who are backing me.
We've got people listening all over the state of Wisconsin, but in particular, WISN, our incredible affiliate in Milwaukee. We've been number one for a long time. They do phenomenal work. Judge Schimel, do you think people out there are aware enough of what's going on with this race? Do you get the sense that the base is, in the same way they were in 2024, aware of the stakes? Or even with that money that's being spent, a lot of it against you, do you think that a lot of people still don't realize the stakes at play here, and even the fact that this race is happening?
I knew that it was going to be tough to get that message to penetrate, that this April election is every bit as important as November. So I got in this race 16 months before Election Day to make sure I got campaigned in all 72 counties of our state. I'm traveling constantly for this last 16 months, going and getting face-to-face with voters, and I think it's worked. I've never seen conservatives this fired up about a court race. They get it. We're doing 6 to 8 rallies every day, and at these rallies, we're getting huge turnouts. I ask people, have you lost any of your energy from November 5th? And they all yell out, no way, not an ounce. We are with you, Brad. We're fired up. And here's the great news. All we have to do, because this race has so much smaller turnout than November elections, if we turn out 60% of President Trump's voters from November 5th, I'll win this thing. And 60% is not a bad number to have to hit.
Anything you want to tell anybody about the day, the voting hours, the website to go to contribute or help out or anything like that? We just We got a huge audience in Wisconsin, particularly WISN, number one there. Thank you all, WISN listeners. What do people need to know to make sure we get this done and bring you over the finish line?
Well, check us out at SchimelForJustice.com, SchimelForJustice.com, and you can find out how you can help us make sure we bring home the win. Today you can still go vote early today in most communities. In Milwaukee, they can vote all the way through the weekend, but most communities can't afford to have clerks work all weekend. So for most of your listeners, today is the last day to vote early, and then on Tuesday, and we've got to get this done. This is going to be easy. The lines will be short. Nothing bad's going to happen, and you're going to be able to wake up on April 2nd feeling great that you were part of a movement that's going to save our state, just like they were part of a movement to save our nation back on November 5th. We've got to do this again, and this is a turnout race. Got to get our people out. Every vote is going to count. You talked earlier about how close some of our races are. This one is going to be absolutely as tight as all those previous races. Show up, and we'll get this done.
Judge
Excellent.
Schimel, get it done for him. We appreciate you listening, and we love all of you in Wisconsin. We're asking you one more time, keep the battle going and help keep Donald Trump able to do the job that you elected him to do as the chief executive. Judge, thank you. Have a good weekend, and good luck on Tuesday.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Judge Brad Schimel, Wisconsin natives. You did it for Donald Trump. You did it for Ron Johnson. You need to do it for Brad Schimel. Get out and vote and make sure you do. Israeli citizens contended with a lot this week. Missile strike attempts aimed from more than one direction, more than one enemy. First responders on heightened alerts, not to mention the ongoing struggle to secure the freedom of 59 hostages still held by Hamas over 500 days after they were kidnapped. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has continued to support the people of Israel with life-saving security essentials through all of this. Your gift to the nonprofit organization today will help save lives by providing bomb shelters, armored security vehicles and ambulances, firefighting equipment, flak jackets, bulletproof vests, so much more. Your donations today, I saw the impact across the board of what you guys are doing to help the IFCJ. Your donations today will help ensure the people of Israel are safe and secure in the days to come. Give a gift to bless Israel and her people by visiting supportifcj.org. That's one word, supportifcj.org. You can also call 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-IFCJ.